you like soft-boiled eggs or hard-boiled eggs?
Hang on, let me check. I think I like them hard.
Is that COVID safe? Now my head looks even shinier.
It's Coburg up late.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anti-DJ joins us tonight. He's been at the forefront of both the Aussie rock and techno scenes for the past 3 decades. From underground raves to the big day out, to supporting Britney Spears at the peak of her career. He is live acid techno produced and performed in the moment, and his last performance in a garage was at Carl Cox's house. Please welcome composer, academic, and professional shit stirrer to Honeysmack.
Doof, doof, doof in the air tonight. House music from home never felt so right. Now your neighbors awake in the 3058. It's Coburg up late.
Dave, I'm going to need you to move a little bit faster than that, mate.
I'm a bit shy.
If there was a live studio audience, they'd be feeling the silence right now. Let me help you. Here, mate. That's for you.
Sorry, is this program in English?
Yes, it is. And now, sir, we need to be COVID safe.
Sorry.
I just need to take your temperature, if that's all right.
No, I've got hemorrhoids. Does that matter?
I won't be taking them rectally, sir. Unless you'd like me to.
Oh, sorry, I've got the wrong place. Sorry.
I can't tell if we've just got some bumbling old guy or we have like a rock and dance legend. Please, Mr. Haberfield, please come back.
What I'm doing here.
Dave, we've got all this gear set up. I'd love you to talk us through what is going on here. What is this?
Before you ask me the question, can we get a paper towel for you, please?
Oh, yes, you can use that one.
Sorry.
Are you saying that I'm sweating more than you?
Well, hang on. I'm the one that looks like a condom filled with plums. You're the... Am I making you nervous?
No, I'm quite aroused, actually,
So,
David.
Okay, go on. So you're
Take us through what we've got going on here, Dave.
Okay, so I'm not a DJ. Yes, I have DJed in the past occasionally, but I just don't find it challenging enough for me because I like to be entertained.
You like to drive manual?
Yeah, that's a good analogy, yeah. So
It's like the first time he's responded seriously to me.
Oh, okay. Let's have a serious conversation here. So I'm a live electronic dance music producer and performer. I improvise in the moment and I use hardware in which to do it. A lot of the hardware that I use is some of the traditional machines that actually formulated electronic dance music today.
That's a great answer. That's like straight out of Wikipedia, copy and paste.
A little bit more serious and a little bit more me. I use hardware and I don't really save anything.
Sure.
I mean, some of the vintage...
But you've had to do that before when you're releasing live albums, so to speak?
Well, everything that I do is live and improvised.
Yep.
So every time I perform, it's unique. I can't replicate.
Cool.
So some of the sounds might sound kind of familiar, but every time I perform, there's always different gear.
Great.
And I kind of view my setup as the instrument. So
when you say there's always different gear, does that mean you're always interchanging what you're using per gig?
Totally.
So, for example, this gig right now, what you're doing, this is a very unique setup to, say, a show you played last week.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you invited me on the show, so I thought I'd bring some of the, the retro pieces and some of the newer pieces, just to kind of show the breadth of the kind of gear. And we only have a small setup here. But, some gigs I might bring a little bit more, a little bit less. It depends on venue and audience as well. See, that was all serious. I don't have to be a smart ass, do I?
All right, serious Captain Man. This particular mixer as well will enable me to back-to-back with you today. Is that something you've done before?
No.
How do you feel about back-to-back?
No, actually, incorrect, because I used to have an act called the Acid Agency with Jason Ruboy and Terence Ho, where they would play records and I would actually have to beat match on the 909 and 303.
Wow.
And they would be playing kind of 80s and funk, pop funk and stuff like that. And we could acidify it, live.
Fuck yeah.
Which was really cool. That was in the early days of Revolver, and then we had a radio show on Kiss FM and all that. So
awesome.
yeah. So I actually have done that.
Can we have a go at that today?
today.
Well, like structurally, I feel like obviously you're not playing songs, right? You're playing more movements. It's going to be more of an arrangement, like quite flowy. But why don't you just tap me every 10 minutes and I'll mix in a little acid track. You can tell us how it's made.
Sure. See?
We've got David Haberfield, aka Honeysmack here.
No. Let's have a little listen. It's Haberfeld, like Seinfeld.
We've got David Haberfield right here in the Coburg up late. This is his nipple.
No, I'm wearing a singlet. No, I look like a...
What do you say, Ellie? A condom full of plums?
Do you know, if I show my skin, your whole show will be shut down indefinitely.
They're like, never mind the social distancing, get this guy off camera.
Last time...
We got Honeysmack taking over the airwaves and taking over our hearts and sending me crazy in the process. Looking forward to what you got, mate.
Okay, let's just try. It always starts with a kick drum, doesn't it? Because everything else is just window dressing. So we'll just do this for 17 minutes.
This is like, you're saying you wanted the guys playing cards in the back. This is that.
And, it's like you're getting all awkward thinking like, okay, it's the joke's over.
No, it's still going.
Shut the fuck up and do something. No, this is it.
I noticed that was swung. Is that intentional? This is so fucking cool. You've immediately redeemed yourself, sir. I'll cancel the triple O call.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That was evident from about 8 minutes ago, sir. We've got Honeysmack on Coburg up late, an absolute legend of the last 3 decades. All of this is live. This has never been heard before, what you're hearing right now. So already, at least in contrast to like modern dance music, it seems to be following the same dynamics of peaks, troughs, sustain, release, moment, no moment. It's all about contrast, right?
Who's the fucking academic here now?
You are. So something David hasn't mentioned.
You're right. You actually are right. I'm just going to turn this down so we can talk. No, you are actually. Right.
You don't need to. It's because I've got the microphones on ducking. You can keep that up. It's fine.
Oh, aren't we fancy fucking pants? Right.
You can talk to me, and that every time that you open your voice, open your voice.
So do you like soft-boiled eggs or hard-boiled eggs?
Hang on, let me check. I think I like them hard.
Is that COVID safe? Now my head looks even shinier.
Dave, you mentioned academia. Are you doing your PhD in acid?
Yes, and I know what you're thinking. how can he be doing a PhD? I'm actually at the very end of it, so my PhD has been... So by the time this goes to air, I may be a
Doctor. What have you focused on specifically?
Well, I know the cream works faster than the tablet. Sorry, I'm just going to turn this down so I can actually hear what I'm saying. Nervous laughter.
Excuse me, can you give it a little bit? I like it.
Okay,
It's like a flowy, with that's the whole thing, you know?
Sorry.
Come on now.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's nice. Can you hear yourself?
Sorry, I don't want to upset you. So
I'm
my
upset.
PhD literally is in how to make acid bangers.
What's acid?
What is acid?
Aside from the thing I keep in my second drawer.
I think it's section 1.3 in my exegesis. What is acid? Acid was an evolution of house music in the late 80s, and it removed the kind of disco, soulful, feel of house music at the time, because house music came about as the post-disco thing, and acid was way more mechanical, and it came about because of this machine.
Which machine here? So what is this machine called?
This machine is called a Roland TB-303 bassline.
Wow, so this is a real piece of history here. Oh, there's your squelch.
Let's get rid of the...
There's your acid squelch right there.
So this became the sound of acid. This was was made as a busker's tool by Roland.
Really?
Yep. It was supposed to emulate an electric bass guitar.
Was it designed to make the sounds that you're currently making out of it, or are you manipulating it beyond its original intentions?
Well, it was supposed to be just a set and forget.
Yeah, sure.
So like a guitarist could have a bass accompaniment.
Right, like the equivalent of a loop pedal or something.
Yeah, it was just and it completely failed because it was marketed to real musicians, and they...
Not people like you or I.
No, certainly not. And it was really hard to program, and it didn't sound anything like a electric bass.
Sure.
So when you have opportunistic, bedroom producers at the time trying to make
House music.
Well, it was the kind of the onset of electronic dance music.
Was techno around then?
Well, techno evolved from
this.
From acid house. Totally.
Interesting.
Because techno was a separation of
It was like
Chicago house music.
Taking the soul out of house music, right? And just robo-fying it?
It was more, you could say a little bit was kind of tribal. It was Chicago versus Detroit. But then it kind of evolved into a very mechanical, what we know as techno today.
Sure.
And it was this kind of box which was a complete commercial failure at the time. And it's the sound of all forms of electronic dance music.
So you're saying that initially this came out and it flopped, but now it's like one of the most important pieces of machinery in electronic dance music history.
This is the electric guitar of electronic dance music.
Oh wow, we got a shot of this guy. So then the acid that I know and love from today is this sound, right? This little squelchy guy.
Yeah, it's like the 303 was manufactured, I think, for approximately 1 year, even less. Roland, the myth is that Roland couldn't even sell them. They kind of gave them away.
Oh, shit.
And I can tell you, since its demise in the early 80s, the 303 there's been a hardware clone of the 303. There's been 2 clones per year for the last 40 years.
Are they improving on it each clone?
No, they're just literally, slight variations, but they're all literally trying to copy that sound, and only recently the sequencer. So the sequencer's so, quirky and limited. This thing is so limited,
Yeah.
That's what makes it so appealing to me.
Yeah. Is that why? Did that start the love affair for you? I mean, why? I mean, if I may ask a very broad general question, why?
It's
why
a fucking awesome question, because this is literally the gateway to me making music. Because
were you part of that ilk of the that bedroom producer generation where you're like, well, they're giving this shit away and
get the camera on that, right? See that? I bought this 303, I think it was about $40 at the time. Right.
That very one.
This very one.
This is responsible for some of your iconic tunes.
All of them.
Wow.
Now, an original 303, I think, costs upwards of $3,000 or $4,000 if you can find one. But now you have, every...
But you got that for 40.
I got this for $40.
That's so good. That's beautiful. I love the serendipity.
And I've got maybe, 15 303s? 303 clones?
Yeah, right, but nothing comes close. That's the one that features in everything.
I've got another modified 303, and I literally have every clone that's been, I don't have all of them, I should say, but I have tried many of them and own many of them. And, because I'm not a traditionally trained musician, I can create something on this. Like, watch this. Get the camera, right? Here we go, right? We're going to be in the moment right now.
Okay. As opposed to the last 15 minutes.
Let's just check something. Okay. I'm going to clear this pattern, and I'm just going to write something completely random and show you the amazing beauty of this machine. So here we go. Put it into write mode, clear the pattern. Now, if I hit play, nothing. Fantastic. Watch this. Hang on. No. I'm going to look at you whilst I touch.
I should hope so.
You'd have to say that's pretty random.
Haberfield or Copperfield? We've got a bit of magic going on here, mate.
Right, so now if I play it, we still shouldn't hear it. Excellent, because now I've got to put in the timing.
Okay.
All right, so I put into time mode. This is why real musicians were challenged by this, because you couldn't just play the keyboard and something would appear.
Are you differentiating yourself from real musicians?
Absolutely. No. Well, I mean, this is my instrument.
Sure.
So now I've just literally entered, 16 steps.
Yep.
And it sounds like this. This is literally the Coburg up late acid line. Right? No shit. This is like, right? Now, you're saying...
Honeysmack, have you just written our theme song?
And so now we put a kick drum. But we can still do much fucking better than that.
Dear David, can we do better than that?
I'm glad you asked. The beauty of the 303 is that it has an accent which emphasises particular events, but it actually drives the filter as well. So I'm just going to enter some accents and some slides, and I'm going to transpose some notes up and down, just very random.
What do you mean slides? Sorry, can you explain that?
Slides is that the pitch slides into the next song.
Well, that's interesting. So that's
they would call it in music notation portamento.
Because that sounds more human than what I thought that was capable of. But that's obviously got a fair bit of versatility.
Yeah. So now I've entered these kinds of accent slides and transposition. Mm-hmm. Now you'll hear it kind of, be a bit more fluid with a bit more movement. Ready? Yes. I'm excited because I haven't heard it.
That brings me to my next question. When you're saying I'm excited because I haven't heard it, how much of this surprises you as it happens? How much of this is just inane button pushing, and how much of it is very intentional?
It's all random. It's completely random.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I know what I'm doing because I'm, using this as part of this system,
So then why are you, internationally renowned hardware producer and performer in the moment if you don't know what you're doing?
It's a good question. So I do know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Right.
But it's that maybe you can't predict what the sound will be.
Well, it's a really good question because it's part of my research. So why is it what I do is unique to other people who make techno and acid and all of that?
Yes.
And I mean, you can read my exegesis when it's when it's been.
Which we will be linking below this page.
I guess when you talk about traditional musicians, and not to be critique of a traditional musician, by all means, I wish I was. But it's a set of rules, and I don't have those set of rules. So I come from somewhat of a punk background. When I was a teenager, I was really into punk music and all of that.
Me too.
So the 303 and early electronic dance music was a whole, do-it-yourself philosophy and
Fuck
aesthetic.
yeah.
And that's what I was drawn to.
Has that backflipped culturally?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, is it still the DIY thing? It seems we've kind of gone into this like superstar DJ, glorified, get somebody else to do it for you vibe, right?
Yeah, the myth of the DJ is something that came about, well, I think, came about kind of, in the 90s and things like that.
Right.
And I guess that's why I'm challenged by DJs as well, because for those who, just sound like everyone else, well,
yeah.
What are you doing?
So it's like a love of the music as opposed to a love of the culture.
I guess, look, I love the culture because this is what I've been doing for 30 years, kind of professionally, personally. This is who I am, I don't do this as a kind of hobby. This is what I do. And I love it. So you can actually see that I'm being genuine, that this sounds fucking awesome.
Dave, do you mind if I mix out of this?
Please, go right ahead. Look at this guy. Acid. That's pretty awesome. And here it is.
Acid Tracks came out in 1987. I know this because it's in the cheap MP3 download title that I've got.
Year zero.
Tell me about this track. It sounds pretty similar. Was this also made on a 303?
This is the sound of a 303 and a TR-707 drum machine.
Now, I see TR-909, not a 707. Could you replicate a similar vibe to what we've got going on here? Would you be able to create... Here's a challenge for you, Mr. Honeysmack. Can you please create a cohesive mix out of this as though it may be the same or a similar song?
No, I can't. Not at all. I can do something that's acid, which we had.
Great.
And I've got the 707 at home, which I didn't bring.
And what part of what we're listening to now is 707? Is it
the drums?
It's the drum.
The drum. So it's the drum machine, which is almost the successor of the 909. Because also the 909 was a commercial failure as well.
Pretty similar destiny to the 303.
Pretty, kind of similar thing. You got to remember that the gear and the sound that has informed early electronic dance music, producers weren't buying it because of the sound. They were buying it because it was cheap and affordable.
So you're saying money ultimately influenced, or lack thereof, actually ultimately influenced an entire movement of music?
Totally. These machines were marketed to professional real musicians. They were really, really expensive. Remember, electronic dance music didn't exist. And it was just, again, opportunistic young producers buying this in bargain bins at their music shop. Even when I was starting to do this, I couldn't go into a music retailer and say, I'm making acid, you can sell me something? Right, so fuck off, You're not even a real musician, you're not real, or, Of course not. But nowadays it's like this gear is being shoved in your face by music manufacturers, and I think it's awesome. But I'm not critical of it. I think it's amazing. If I wish I was a young producer right now, you know, there's so much great gear, great software that's so cheap and accessible.
Yeah.
So when we go back to tracks like acid tracks, it's like these guys were discovering something new. It was accidental. It wasn't like...
This wasn't built on the shoulders of a previous sound. Like, there's obviously like a whole new wave of acid now, which is like throwback to the era that you're speaking of. But well, I mean, what was influencing these guys?
Well, what was influencing these guys was kind of disco, right? And the backlash against disco and being able to make something original for the clubs at the time.
Okay.
You know, that was the whole point. And that's why it's so amazing, because it doesn't come with this, you know, this like, oh, they know everything, you know? There's a naivety, there's a spontaneity about this.
That comes back to the in the moment vibe that you're replicating, and that's why you love it. Dave,
Listen to Cal!
listen to Dave. Can you mix out of this? Can you keep it rolling?
Can I mix out of it? So you're at,
I had to guess that you're at about 130 beats per minute. For the first time in the history of this show, I had to use my ears to mix. God help us all.
now you know why I hate DJs. No, I'm just kidding.
Build it up, baby. What you got next? Maybe you can take us through this thing.
All right, we'll play. We'll jump ahead a couple of years.
Okay. Beautiful. Good Honeysmack on Coburg Up Late. I must say, Dave, this is the most unique episode I could have ever dreamed of. I'm very grateful to have you here. Thank you so much. I don't expect you to respond to my sincerity with sincerity, but I just want you to know that. Is your Octatrack controlling effects? It seems like are you controlling the reverb on this guy?
Hi there, friends. Okay, so what am I doing here? I have a modular synthesizer here, which is made up of a couple of different voices, and I am sampling it in real time in the Octatrack.
What do you mean you're sampling it?
Okay, I'm glad you asked.
Okay, that's coming from this.
That is this right now. That's just this, right? Whole lot of generative.
How much? What did you put into making these noises?
I gave it a pulse. I just synchronized it.
Cool. Does this work as like a randomizer? Press for pulse. and then press again to change pulse? Is that what's going on?
Not quite. I mean, it's hard to explain this very quickly, but I'll do my best. Okay, can you sit down? No. Okay. So basically, a modular synthesizer is a synthesizer that has all its connections exposed, quite simply. So, but what I do, because I like to improvise, and there's a...
Can we just show the exposed connections? This is amazing. Why? Okay. Firstly, why are they exposed? Why is that? Why is that important?
Because literally each module has a different function, right? So it's not hardwired as you would find in a synthesizer.
Oh wow! So it's basically fully modifiable.
Correct.
That's the modular.
Correct. Exactly.
Awesome.
So
it's like open source as opposed to Mac.
Yeah, if you want to say, yeah. No, because it's quite confusing. So I've got a couple of different voices or sounds, filters, sequences, and effects that I'm then feeding into the Octatrack. Now, in the Octatrack, I am then sampling it. I'm telling it, okay, grab that recording, re-slice it, and this is it. So now that's just going to loop that. Now I can change.
Can you satisfy my insatiable urge for a kick drum right now? Thank you, Dave.
Right, okay.
I think
now
I
you
just
asked
came.
me about effects. I haven't forgotten your question. I may look stupid.
I have.
And I am. So
Me too.
I also have the Chaos Pad, which just is an extra effects unit. And now I can add effects. So let's add a delay. And now the mixer becomes my instrument.
Oh, wow. We are quite literally witnessing history being made here on Coburg Up Late with Honeysmack.
Here's the beauty of improvising with a modular synthesizer. So whilst I have this loop going in the Octatrack, and yes, sometimes I move across and I've got other effects.
It's like a bit crusher and an echo.
Oh, there's effects on top of effects. You know.
Cool.
So now we're hearing the sampled version. I'm going to change this radically to something I have no idea about.
I suspect you don't do anything not radically.
I'm liking this one. I don't know. There we go. Now I'm going to move this crossfader. Can you see that, Pat? And we're going to fade to the live version of this, which I've completely changed.
Here we go. And now I'm like, sorry, go on.
No, get up, please. Now, what I would like you to do is move it to here, right? Keep it there. Now hit yes for me.
No,
you will hit yes, young man.
yes.
Hit it again for me, just in case, right? So what you've just done is you've just told the Octatrack, sample that.
I've just proved my submissive nature to you, sir.
Now, move that crossfader to here, please.
I can't quite tell what I've done, Dave.
You've sampled this. I'll make this kind of radical so you can hear. It gets better.
I feel like I'm on an infomercial. On LSD.
Very, very nice. Me likey.
So Dave, this is a more modern track. This is part of, I suppose, what you call acid throwback. Nari and Milani are an Italian duo, not known for their acid. They do a little bit more kind of commercial electro stuff, but this is a track called Kendo. Came out about 5 years ago, and I'd love to know your opinion on, I suppose, more contemporary adaptations or homages to traditional acid. Like, the sounds in this, there's modern production going on here, right? Or is this still made in the same kind of way?
No. Look, most electronic dance music is made, with software. It's arranged,
Excuse me.
He made the bass and boy is banging.
You were saying?
He make the bass, the boy is banging. Which is...
That is surely clause 4, page 67 of your PhD.
And those who are playing at home, that's a Tyree Cooper sample right there from 1988.
Actually?
Yes.
Wait. Oh, no shit.
No shit.
Oh my god.
So,
the vocal sample?
The vocal sample.
Like what we just heard?
Yes, he makes the bass, the boy is banging, is Tyree Cooper, the producer, awesome, super duper trooper. He make the bass, the boy is banging.
This guy knows his shit. This is amazing. Take it away, Dave. We've got another 15 or so.
All right, well, that's it. Thanks for having me. I didn't even know if I've locked the car or not. Hang on a sec.
Dead set, you're not allowed to leave.
Fine. No. You're all right, fine. Fine. Yes. Just so you know, tomorrow the weather will be fine.
Do you want me to hold it on this, get a loop, and then you can mix out of it?
Don't threaten me, young man.
Or do you want this to drop? It's up to you.
Hey, what do I know?
Evidently a lot. You know the historical accuracy to the vocal sample of a song that I just played you to fuck with you. That was fucking awesome. We got Honeysmack on Coburg up late. It's been absolutely ridiculous, and I've loved every minute. Thank you so much, Dave. Take us home, mate. There's the dynamics we were talking about. Boom. So you're controlling the reverb up here. And the EQ of the reverb there. I'm honestly blown away by the last hour, and I'm so excited that we've captured all of this on camera. Like, you cannot wipe this smile off my face. You'd have to do something pretty offensive to do that, Dave. That's a challenge.
Hi, Mum.
Was that your mum who called earlier, mate?
No, it wasn't my mum.
Who was it?
It was the Bureau of Meteorology.
It's live acid techno produced and performed in the moment with DJ Honeysmack. He's gonna hate that I called him DJ. This is awesome. We've also started like an hour late. I'm gonna have to pen an apology letter to my neighbours. Hashtag worth it. Hey Dave,
Talk to me in a clear and precise voice, Cal.
I can't, I've lost my voice. You've got me so excited. Can you tell us about the time that you supported Britney Spears?
It's not that funny. Hang on. Me liking this one.
It actually happened. I'm not just talking shit. You did. You supported Britney Spears at the peak of her career.
Yeah.
It was a one-off, I believe. A shopping mall appearance, perhaps?
Well, how do I explain this? So I was signed to the label that Britney Spears was signed to.
Yes.
So you could, in a way, say that Britney Spears' career helped finance my career somewhat, somewhat indirectly.
You mean like 8-year-old me helped line your 30-year-old pockets?
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to get rich making balls to the wall, acid abrasive techno, let me tell you. So I was signed to this label internationally, and then she came out to Australia to do a promotional tour, not a concert tour, but to promote her movie Crossroads.
Oh God, that was absolute trash.
Yeah, look it up. It's the best film I've never seen.
I mean, it's an integral part of your history and you just haven't seen it.
I know it's one of my favourite films, I just haven't seen it.
It's already just entered my top 5.
So she came out to Australia, she was in Sydney at Fox Studios, and the record label thought it would be amazing for an abrasive punk-ass acid techno fuckhead like me to support Britney Spears.
Now, hang on. You mean that they actually had the foresight, like it was intentional? This wasn't like an administrative error?
No, I'm actually being serious. There's no word of a lie. They thought it would be a great idea, and
okay, can we just look at this from like a practical perspective? What part of that could possibly make any fucking sense?
None whatsoever.
Did you do it?
I actually did do it. Did do it, and I was kind of arguing with my manager. This will be bad, but anyway, I thought. Argument over, let's do it, let's make something of it.
That's
right?
fucking amazing.
This is an opportunity that I will never get, ever, so let's see how offensive I can actually be.
Okay, cool. And what was the crowd like?
The crowd, there wasn't anyone over the age of 14 or 15.
Oh, fantastic.
Though it was predominantly, young, teenage girls.
Yeah, I think I can picture the demographic, actually.
And Britney Spears was only there to perform like 3 or 4 tracks.
Sure.
And because Fox Studios wasn't very big, it wasn't built for a music event.
No.
They had to build like a gangway so she could go out to the car park because there was like 10,000, fans, and it was a free event. So you had to enter some Pepsi Cola, Pepsi Max, competition who helped fund the movie or something like that. Anyway, I was the support act, and I was told to play 2 or 3 tracks from my upcoming album. And I had like this kind of disco-esque song that had like strings in it that
I'm going to just segue for a moment. 2 or 3 tracks from your upcoming album. Does that mean you'd had a live jam, chosen moments from that jam, released them as tracks, and then remembered them to perform them and replicate it in the same way?
Well, you said it better than me. I kind of sampled bits of it, but I was still going to improvise.
It was still live, but there was like hooks or something that you'd repeat.
Totally. So I said to the label, get me a string quartet to play, or to mime the string parts.
Oh, because I'm sure her performance was mimed as well, right? Like,
no, she wasn't miming, but it just like...
But you were.
I wasn't miming, but...
Yeah,
just...
Honeysmack and Britney Spears did a show together. Guess who mimed? This cunt.
That's right, exactly. No, but the string parts. So I get there, I get to Sydney. The quartet have no idea what's going on. They haven't been informed about anything whatsoever. It's just like error after error after error, which is just like, I just found it just completely funny. So I just said to them, just do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter, You were just there as kind of visual pieces anyway. So I get up and I start playing, and it's literally, I am playing, I'm playing the most abrasive, acid techno.
You would have had some 14-year-olds absolutely losing their shit.
And they are just screaming for like Britney. Like, it's like I've never played in at an event where young girls can block out the sound of distorted acid. It did, and I just thought this is just like a train wreck, because I could be up on stage completely naked. It didn't matter, I could be, setting myself on fire. It wouldn't have mattered. So I just really began to just completely ham it up. Be as kind of, raw, offensive.
Our camera operator Sam literally has lost his footing. This is such a ridiculous story.
This is true. I'm telling you, this is a true story. So I played 2 or 3 tracks, and I got off stage, and I'll never forget this. And I was just kind of, I was like, just shit, And
oops, I did it again.
The label director in Australia came up to me and said, that was just amazing, right?
Just like, obviously, just,
It was just complete bullshit, because you couldn't even hear what I was doing. You know what I mean?
Okay, so they were just, what's the word? They were pulling your leg.
They were pissing in my pocket.
There you go, that's right, yes.
But no, he just kept on going about how amazing this was, and, we have to use it in your next video clip, or something like that.
To be fair, that would be a fucking awesome video clip.
Well, at the time...
Like, the juxtaposition is too good,
At the time, I just said to my manager, and it's the only time I ever said, there is no fucking way, absolutely no way that any of this can be used for any promotional purpose whatsoever.
Wow.
And
So you were a diva.
And the end of the story is that the label completely collapsed a month later or something like that, soon afterwards. Zomba completely shut up shop, and I was let go. They never released the album.
But Crossroads was an international hit.
Yeah, and I'm still a fuckhead today. So nothing actually changed. I didn't change. But that was interesting. And,
Can you never change?
I won't change for you.
That's great. Because I'll never change this T-shirt after sweating with you, mate.
Right on to Coburg Up Late. Next we've got coming up Cal, who's running Coburg Up Late. He's here with some bald cunt, and let's see what happens. But anyway, make it 2 pepperonis, 1 meat lovers, but can we have half vegan, half meat lovers? Is that okay?
Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure. You got anything else to add before we play out?
I guess it's important to be nice to people.
Absolutely.
Give money to charity and eat your vegetables.
That's beautiful. You got anything coming up that we should know about?
I've started to get lots of gigs to real life people. So
cool. You got Eat the Beat in Brunswick next weekend? Although this will be released long after that.
Beat Repeat is coming up.
Forgive me.
There's another show in April and June.
Cool.
Coming up. I've got a release on UKR in May.
Nice.
And there's some more stuff coming up with Awesome Soundwave, which is Chris Coe and
Carl Cox.
Carl Cox's label.
That's right, because look, actually, before we go, you recently performed in Carl Cox's garage.
Yes.
Was this part of Awesome Soundwave?
Yes, it was Awesome Soundwave 3. So if you're on the internet, you can go and...
There's highly likely that the people watching this are on the internet. I'm going to say 100%.
I didn't know that. So this is this is on the internet.
This is one of those internet things we were talking about earlier.
So
it's a real head scratcher.
Apparently some of my music is on the internet.
Where can they check that out?
Well, apparently you steam it. Is that what you say?
Stream it. You stream it.
Stream it.
Stream it.
It's in water.
Yeah, it's not ham. You don't steam it.
Oh, I thought it was... Everyone's talking about, you steam it online. I thought everyone's cooking vegetables. It's like,
Seymour, these are some fine streamed hams.
So yeah, it's, Awesome Soundwave released an album of mine, actually this time last year, which is Post Acid, and then they did the Live from Mysteryland as another release.
Was that partly why you got blamed for COVID though? Because you put it out just before the pandemic happened, right?
Yeah, literally. Literally, I'm sick. But that's what they say. I've heard people say, you're sick, right? But I think when they say that you're fully sick, which means that they like what I'm doing, that they've overcome with happiness and an illness of happiness.
It is an illness and it shall be squashed. We've had Honeysmack on the show.
I'm standing behind Cal.
Have you had a nice time today?
I've had a lovely day, Cal. Thank you very much.
Me too.
I'm sweating like somebody who sweats a lot at a place which is really hot.
That was markedly more appropriate than what he said as soon as he walked into the room, which we won't repeat. Thank you so much, Dave.
Won't repeat.
It's been wonderful.
It's been wonderful.
I love you.
I love you. No, thanks, Cal. I appreciate it.
No worries, mate.
Do you want me to sign off?
Yeah. Do you want to do a little thing to close us off? And then I'll do the outro. Can you give us 2 minutes of your fucking... Actually, 1 minute. We're going over.
Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and tell your parents about this. And, if you like what you're seeing, then why?
Hey, get your head checked. This is incredibly unlikable content.
I don't know, but apparently you have to touch it with your thumb. I like the internet.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. Bow, shake. Fuck you, Honeysmack. Ha ha ha. You'll never use this thumb again.
Well,
you fucking bold cunt.
I'll tell you something that about 11 years ago I was a hand model.
That's really gone up shit creek, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, as soon as they saw my face.
All right, mate. Give us 1 minute of your best. Thank you so much. I'll quit talking over you. Honeysmack, one more time, give it up! Remember, whatever you do, may you do it with passion. And may we all truly endeavour to be kind to each other, the world around us, and ourselves. I think DJ, be kind to other people with Honeysmack. Oh, wow. It's meant to end now, but the cunt's playing with me shit. Something, something, something. I hope you have a nice time and... Oh, fuck this.